Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to continue to have a look at the latest on the cold spell we are experiencing at the moment, which is going to continue to throw wintry hazards our way. The next few days looks likely to have the continual very cold overnight temperatures with widespread frosts and of course wintry showers, especially in the north and the east. But as we progress towards the weekends, as through Sunday and Monday, we do bring the risk of seeing some more widespread snowfall, potentially even heavy snowfall in places. We do start to see some features coming in off the Atlantic. Sunday there could be an area of snow, sleet or rain across parts of central England or Wales, and then as we head into Monday a very large area of low pressure starts pushing in, but could really struggle up against the cold block of air we have, and some runs today are showing a period of snow with that. So we're going to have a look at all of that in this video. Have a look at the latest from the weather warnings, we'll look at all the various precipitation charts, and we'll finish have a look at the longer range, as it is looking likely to go milder, wet and windy for a time, but already we're seeing signs that cold weather could return as we head into the middle of December. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, which you like and subscribe. And remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now, as you start on the live radar, we have seen some snowfall in places today. Of course, we saw heavier showers in the north and the east that we did look at in yesterday's video, and they have continued throughout today. Some areas, especially across northern and northeastern England, have seen a covering of snow today. Some areas even seen a couple of centimetres. The same for parts of Scotland here, and even quite a large area of snow showers here into southern Scotland. We've also seen some persistent precipitation further southwards. It's been fairly light, but we have seen, for some of these areas, precipitation falling out of the sky pretty much all day in the morning, initially starting mostly as snow, even to low-lying areas. Even seen some pictures of beaches down across Cornwall, seeing about a centimetre or so of snow, before during the day becoming more of a wintry mix, and through this evening turning more back to snow once again. The precipitation is moving away, and most areas have seen nothing more than a light dusting, simply because the intensity is not that high, and of course there is a wintry mix, especially during the middle of the day. But nevertheless, November snow is highly unusual for the south coast, and many areas did see a covering for at least a time. So definitely is quite a bit more than we actually expected a couple of days ago, even more than we expected last night in terms of the widespread nature of the falling snow. We did expect snow over higher ground, but we did see, even to, as I said, quite even to sea level during the morning, and settling snow to sea level. So that was interesting, but it is now pulling away, and that snowfall risk will reduce over the course of the next couple of hours. Now, deep on the temperatures of around 8 PM, it is very cold once again tonight. Temperatures widely below freezing already, as said, around 8 PM. Yeah, very cold. And again, we'll see -3, -4, or -5 degrees again tonight, meaning any of those wintry showers in the east could provide a covering because the ground is frozen solid. We can have a look at the past 24-hour precipitation on the live radar here. Again, this is radar estimates of falling snow, not accumulating snow, but it's how much is falling out of the sky. And again, you can see for the far south coast, actually quite a lot of snow has fallen out of the sky. But again, I doubt there's more than a centimetre or two in most locations. And even then, some areas are completely melted. Further northwards, you can see we've actually seen quite a bit of snow for some of the higher ground across southern Scotland, and along the northeast of England, again, have seen a few centimetres of snow across quite a large region. Again, not all of it settling, not all of it sticking, some of it melting, evaporating, or sublimating away. So, yeah, we're not seeing that much snow on the ground, but just shows you where we have seen snow over the past 24 hours across that northeastern corner and across the far south coast. But we are likely to see more snow over the coming days. If we do start on the weather warnings, you can see through this evening we've got a snow and ice warning issued for eastern and northern coasts here from 5 PM until 11 AM tomorrow. Again, for those wintry showers out in the North Sea. Again, could see 5 centimetres over higher ground, with as much as 2 centimetres possible inland, and again, high likelihood lower end of the impact matrix. We have an ice warning issued for parts of Northern Ireland, again from 5 PM this evening until 10 AM tomorrow. Again, there could be some wintry showers, but again, it's for any moisture and surfaces where we have some showers throughout the day. Whether they fall in as rain, sleet or snow, there will be moisture around, and it will allow ice to develop through the overnight hours, and across the southwest as well, where we have seen more wintriness through this evening, or we'll continue to see some wintriness through this evening. And of course, all the moisture around, whether it is still snow, sleet or rain. And even if you don't have any snow on the ground and you have a bit of rainfall and puddles and things like that, it will freeze tonight as those temperatures really do go very low. As we head into tomorrow, those warnings are still all intact, but I do suspect as we head into tomorrow morning, we could see warnings updated for Saturday and Sunday. Most likely Sunday is looking like a definite area where I do think there could be a warning issued for parts of England and Wales, but I think the Met Office is definitely holding back because the track of that precipitation band, which could be pretty heavy, is very uncertain. Some runs bringing snowfall to northern England, some runs even bringing it into southern England, but it is unlikely to be across the whole of England and Wales. It's likely to be a small-ish area, but could be significant in that area. Now, if we do look at the latest UKV and run through the precipitation and the temperatures over the next 5 days, you can continue to see the showers through these this evening across northeastern coastal areas, and rain in the south and snow in the south will dissipate away. As we head into tomorrow afternoon, we could see, or into the morning at least, we could see a few more showers drift into the far southeast, so we could see some falling snow there, even into the London area perhaps. And as we progress through Friday afternoon, showers do start to get cut off from North Sea because the wind direction starts to shift to more of a north to northwesterly as we start to see lower pressure starting to nudge in off the Atlantic. Again, we don't see any milder air masses until at least Monday, but it's starting to move in. As we progress through the rest of Monday, still could see some showers along the east coast, but more showers potentially for western coasts. And here we could see a snow warning issued for southern parts of Scotland, as it looks like there'll be perhaps an area of enhanced showers or disturbance there across southern and southwestern Scotland. As we progress into Saturday, still some of that snow across southern Scotland and some showers into parts of Wales and maybe southwest England as well. But it's as we head through Saturday afternoon into the evening, we do start to see heavier showers and a bit of a disturbance moving inland there through the early hours of Sunday. Now the UKV here does bring some heavier precipitation, some of it falling as rain, some of it falling as sleet, some of it falling as snow. Again, I wouldn't look at the precipitation type too literally at this stage because it is still around 2 or 3 days away, and all the runs are very varied with this. But it's the positioning of the precipitation, giving rainfall, maybe even some snowfall for a time through Sunday morning. Again, falling onto frozen ground, most of the snow would settle. So no issues with settling here or ground temperatures. It's going to be overnight. We're going to see hard frost prior to this arriving. And again, it will be about the upper air temperatures. What actually falls out of the sky. The ground is going to be very cold. So it'll be very interesting to see what that does deliver. But again, encouraging if you're looking for snow that even the UKV here is showing something with this disturbance through Sunday morning. As we clear through Sunday afternoon, we do see precipitation starting to arrive from the southwest. This is the Atlantic really trying to push in. But the last sort of 24 hours or so have really strengthened the cold block and meant this low doesn't look like it's going to sweep the whole country. It's looked like it's going to stall and then retreat into Europe, which will mean there is the risk of some snow on its leading edge, and wherever it doesn't fully move in, where the mild air doesn't fully move in, could actually see a proper snow event with this scenario. So if we see this low pressure move in, you can see here for most of southern England it falls as rain, but it doesn't quite get into the colder air further northwards. If we look at the upper air temperatures, see very cold air is just further northwards, and because the intensity isn't too high of the precipitation band, it doesn't develop anything too significant. But as we'll see from a couple of the models in a few minutes' time, it does develop some significant snow there in places through Monday. But as that pulls away, eventually we do see the westerly winds open up, and we are likely to see milder air move in for all as we head through Tuesday and Wednesday, again properly sweeping the cold air away here. It doesn't look like the cold air will be able to hang on too long. Some anomalous runs do have it holding on, but the majority do have that cold air breaking down. Yes, they are definitely taking a little bit longer than the models were showing yesterday or the day before, about 24 hours, 48 hours or so, but it is looking likely to break down during the middle part of next week. Now, if I do put on the temperatures, it's going to be freezing cold once again tonight, widely down towards sort of -2 to -5 degrees. As we wake up into tomorrow morning, temperatures really struggling to get much above freezing in many areas, especially further northwards and westwards over higher ground, maybe 3 or 4 degrees at best somewhere across the East Midlands. As we progress into Saturday, overnight temperatures again are going to be freezing cold, and for Saturday afternoon, potentially even an ice state further eastwards. Look at that, temperatures hardly getting above freezing for much of central and eastern England, and that is going to just freeze the ground. So if any precipitation falls through that Sunday morning period, if it does fall or snow, it will stick readily. So there's going to be no snowfall needing to overcome the sort of surface temperatures or anything like that. It is going to be frozen solid, the ground. So yes, even if you only see an hour or two of snow from this system on Sunday, which looks possible, it could accumulate very quickly into sort of 2-3 centimetres or even more, depending on the precipitation rate. As we head into Sunday morning, though, you can see those temperatures rise in the far south and southeast. That's the milder little wedge of air that powers that disturbance, giving it moisture, and it could, as said, just introduce some rainfall instead. But looking at these surface temperatures, definitely looks likely that the UKV would produce a sort of wintry mix or snowfall, many in this scenario. A bit intrigued to see why the precipitation charts did show mostly rain, only bits of snow. I do suspect it's probably to do with the dew points, but again, we'll have to see that nearer the time. Beyond that, into Sunday afternoon, still very cold, widely mid to low single digits, 3 or 4 degrees at best, widely below freezing further northwards. And then finally into Monday, perhaps slightly milder air in the south, allowing those temperatures to not drop much below 1 or 2. And then into Monday, temperatures starting to nudge up, maybe 3 to 5 degrees in the south, colder further northwards. The last frost as we head into Tuesday, and then yes, by Tuesday afternoon, still towards freezing in many areas, but you can see the big wedge of milder air is starting to move in. Now, if you look at the arpège and see what that is showing over the coming days, again, you can see that precipitation moving away further southwards, showers continuing in the north and east over the coming hours, and even a bit of snow into the far southeast through tomorrow morning. As we progress beyond that, showers continue, but they start to move in from the west, and as we head into Saturday afternoon, you can see the showers and precipitation starting to gather further westwards, and this is the disturbance potentially moving in, giving an area of rain, sleet or snow in actually a pretty similar position to the UKV, nudging it further northwards though, and you can see snow on its northern edge. Again, big uncertainty how much of this would fall as snow again, but it's very similar positioning to the UKV across much of central England there, even into southern and southeastern parts, but again, it will be more marginal for snowfall there. As we head beyond that into Sunday and Monday, we start to see precipitation arrive from the southwest, and as said, it could give some significant snow on its leading edge. Now, the low does move in, but it makes very slow progress, and that could allow even areas across central England to develop some snowfall for a time, but the milder air is likely to win out in the coming hours beyond that. So, yes, could see a temporary accumulations, but unlikely to last much beyond that. If we do compare to the Icon run, which has been pretty bullish with this system on Sunday, you can see as we head through the coming hours, showers in places giving some snowfall. Potentially through tomorrow, some snow showers coming further inland in the east. But then as we progress into Saturday, again, we see the disturbance arrive further westwards, definitely giving a bit of heavier snow inland there. Even into the southeast corner, some really heavy precipitation. Again, marginal how much of it actually falls as snow, but a pretty heavy band of rain, sleet and snow there. And again, if most of that falls as snow onto frozen surfaces, could see some decent accumulations in many of those areas. Again, it will be very interesting to see what the models show tomorrow, as again, we'll only be about 36 hours away come tomorrow's video. Beyond that, though, low pressure eventually starts to arrive from the west as we head into Monday, and very similar to the arpège, it gives some leading edge snowfall, but look, the low really struggles to move in before eventually it pulls away to our east. You can see the max temperatures do climb to around 5 or 6 degrees in the far south, but some slight adjustments, and most areas could actually stay in cold air conducive to snow. So that is something we need to watch through Monday and Tuesday, as yes, at the moment, most runs are showing some leading edge snow before turning it back to rain, but very, very small adjustments could take place to turn that all to snow potentially for some southern areas as we head into early next week, but still too far away to say with any detail. And finally, if we look at the ECMWF, which is another very interesting run today, because it does again show some very heavy snow across central parts through Sunday. You can see showers continue over the coming hours, but not too heavy. As we progress into Saturday, showers start to become more widespread further westwards. Republic of Ireland, parts of Northern Ireland could see some snow falling through Saturday, and then we see that disturbance forming as we head into Saturday afternoon into the evening, and moving inland, and quite a large area of snow predominantly snow from around the M4 line northwards, and it is heavy stuff. If we look at the sort of precipitation rates, it's looking around the sort of the 2 or 3 centimetres an hour, and this is sort of the band that would only last a few hours, but through Saturday night into Sunday morning, definitely could produce a few centimetres of snow, at least in places, for eventually clearing out to the east. And then again, we see another transient snow event, initially falling of snow before milder air moving in. You can see the sort of the rain-snow divide is across parts of southern Scotland here. So yes, nowhere near as marginal as the other runs are showing, but again, could change. If we do look at the snow depth for that area of snow as we head through Sunday, you can see quite a wide area of sort of 5 to 10 centimetres of snow. Yes, it melts pretty quickly through Monday, but nevertheless a pretty decent area of snowfall cropping up at very short notice. And as I said again, people have been critical of these ECMWF charts because, again, it shows falling snow, not accumulating snow, but given the frozen ground, most of the falling snow would accumulate. So I don't think we would have a problem with that. So yeah, could be sort of 5 to 10 centimetres of snow in places as we head into Sunday morning. So we have to keep a very close eye on this system. Sunrun's not making much of it, UKV not making much of the intensity, and mostly showing rain, whereas the ECMWF showing it as being pretty intense and falling mostly as snow. Again, need to keep a very close eye on it. Now, if we do have a look at the longer term, though, just to keep up to date with what's going to be happening as we head into early December, because, as I said, it is looking likely to turn mild for a time. Easterly winds continue, and the westerly winds start to break through, and this is where we see those disturbances move through on Sunday. We see that low arrive into Monday. That could bring some transient snow, but most likely brings milder air as the jet stream activates, and we see lower pressure coming in off the Atlantic, keeping us pretty unsettled through the next sort of 5 or 6 days. But look out to our northeast as we head towards the latter parts of this run. Easterly winds start to return as high pressure builds towards Greenland and Scandinavia. And look at this, if we put in the upper air temperatures, we're actually back in cold air, back in air that would support snowfall here into the last few hours of this run. Again, I've said this numerous times over the last couple of videos, the longer term outlook is conducive for more blocking, more conducive than it is right now. So I do think there is a high possibility as we head into the second half of December, even around the Christmas period perhaps, we do see blocking really strengthen, be as strong as it is now, if not stronger. And of course, it's a few weeks on from now, so it means the air will be even colder. It would take the marginal factor out of it if we saw the wind come in from the northeast. So it'll be very interesting, and perhaps this is what the GFS is hinting at. I wouldn't look again at any of the specifics, but the fact blocking is going to try to build northwards again around the middle of the month, I do think is a pretty likely scenario. If you do compare to the GEM, I must say I've looked at this already. It just goes flat westerly. Again, only goes out to day 10, but no signs of major blocking from this run. Again, westerly winds move in by the middle of next week and actually goes pretty stormy there. Yes, there's a bit of a high pressure system building towards Scandinavia. It's got a lot of cold air trapped within it, but really not in a position to give us anything cold at all. Look over to Scandinavia, it's gone quite a bit milder. And again, you put the temperature deviation, you can see very little cold air to our north or our east at all. Massive block out into Russia that could head our way in sort of a week or two after this. But at this stage, at day 10, no indication of anything majorly cold. If we compare to the ECMWF, this is, again, interesting as we head towards day 10. Again, easterly winds moving in at the moment. Blocking eventually does dissipate, and we do see the westerly winds try to push back in. And as we head towards day 10, look what happens. Similar pattern to the GFS, where easterly winds try to push back in, and the -5 isotherm comes in for Scotland, perhaps northern England, bringing snow-conducive air. And look out to our east, a massive block of bitterly cold air. -15 isotherm there, about 500 miles to our east. Bitterly cold indeed, and we'd have to keep a very close eye on this sort of pattern where low pressure running in off the Atlantic up against this cold block. And you can see the temperature deviation here. Unfortunately, it's not loading, but if we could see the temperature deviation, you'd be able to see that there's a massive block of cold air coming up against a big area of milder air, and it'll be a big battleground scenario. But very interesting seeing the blocking even returning by day 10 on this ECMWF run, only giving perhaps sort of 3 or 4 days of milder conditions for the cold air does return. If you finish by looking at the ensembles, you can see that sort of signal here. Definitely looks like it's going to go milder for a time, but then quite a few runs started to dip us colder again. around that 10th of December onwards. So it will be incredibly interesting to see if we see major trends in the next couple of days towards that, or whether milder runs like the GEM do win out a little bit better. But at this stage, yes, it's looking likely to go milder for a time, but some runs showing only going milder for a day or two and then turning cold once again, and we'll just have to keep a very close eye on it. 2 meter temperatures is very cold over the next few days, climbing to perhaps high single digits by middle of next week, potentially dropping beyond that, and the dew points again rising next week, but again perhaps a slight cooling trend in the longer term. And finally, if we compare to the ECMWF, it's only just come out the midday run, but nevertheless you can see it's climbing over the coming days. And if you have a look at the midnight run, again, from last night, you can see colder runs in the longer term, but probably not as much of a signal as even the GFS was showing. But again, one we'll have to keep a very close eye on as we progress into the longer term. So it is looking like we're going to continue to see quite a bit of colder weather over the next few days, potentially even some increased winteriness through Sunday and Monday before it does turn milder, but the longer term trends are perhaps starting to look conducive for cold weather to return as we head into the middle of December. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you're new and stay aware of the videos. Of course, there is likely, if the sort of Sunday snow or Monday snow continues to stay within the model, we'll probably see more yellow warnings issued, so do keep up to date, as that snowfall could actually be pretty disruptive for quite a few areas, especially that Sunday morning snow could be quite surprising for many, and maybe even the Monday snow depending on the track of that lower pressure system. So as I said, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.